World champions to a man who's been a world champion on 2 separate occasions. But Dennis Priestley has had a year he wants to put behind him.
Obviously, I wasn't in the right frame of mind last year. I was getting ready to go in hospital early January for me prostrate out, and it's flown. Yeah, it's been a funny year. Be glad when it's over.
It's a lot different out here to what it was at the Circus Tavern 2 years ago. It's you're a lot lonelier on stage, I think, than what you were there. But I got by with the win, and that was it. I struggled with doubles. I should have won 5 straight, but got the result then. I think I just took them too lightly, to be quite honest, which I know I can't afford to do today.
It's 94 since the last one, and I suppose if there was going to be a winner coming from a different angle than Phil Taylor, last year proved that it can happen. So let's hope it's a year like that.
He's one of the smoothest players I've seen play. I think he's very calculated when he's playing. And I think he's a great guy.
I tend to tire actually around about 5 o'clock. I usually have an old man's nap, but that's because of radiotherapy and one thing or another. But I'll definitely not go to sleep on stage this time.
Well, we've just seen the match of the tournament so far. Kevin Painter going through against Matt Clark. What will unfold in this one? Our MC is John McDonald.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome back. Well, we are live at the Alexandra Palace. It's Elaborates.com, the World Darts Championship, brought to you by the PDC and live on Sky Sports, bringing you the very best in darts action. Would you please now welcome our players? Would you please welcome all the way from New Zealand, Mr. From Warren Free! The legend that is, the former 2 times champion of the world, Dennis "The Menace" Priestley!
Gentleman that is Dennis Priestley, first ever PDC world champion, and he has been preparing this year like no other year. 10 days in Tenerife, flying in sparring partners. Colin Lloyd went over to play him in Tenerife. 10 days there, hence the tan. But he's practiced like never before for this competition. Will it pay dividends? We'll find out. Your commentators, Rod Harrington and John Gwynn.
Well, Rod, I always think it's a bit special when a world champion goes onto the stage at a world championship. And Dennis Priestley has won the world title on 2 occasions, on 2 different stages. But the last one was 15 years ago. And, of course, it has been a very, very difficult year for him. And yet, he alone has had the character to come through it and cannot be unfancied to win this tournament should people like Phil Taylor or Ray Barnevelt fail.
Well, it's been documented, as we all said, about his illness. but he's actually playing, I think, the best darts of his life. He's certainly playing better now than he did when he won the World Championships. He's up the bar, and he is a force to be reckoned with, as he proved in the tournament before the Grand Prix when he beat Raymond Barnwell in the final of one of our tour events.
We've already talked about Major Shock, of course, John Park, the champion, possibly even in the air as we speak on his way back to Toronto. Would this be an even bigger shock than that if Dennis Priestley were to lose to, admittedly, the New Zealand #1, but a man who's not really that well known in world dart and who frankly struggled to get through his qualifier?
Yeah, it would be a bigger shock. I mean, Bill Davis, you know, the public and the viewers probably don't know Bill Davis, but we all do. We know what a good dart player he is. We don't know Warren French, and you know, you have to go by pedigree, and his pedigree says that he shouldn't get near Dennis Priestley, but it all depends how quickly Dennis can get into his stride, because sometimes Dennis can be a slow starter.
Well, he won the throw in the practice room, did Frog, and he's leapt away here to a great start, hitting a 140 with his first visit. So at least he can say at an average of 140, you know, in a game against Dennis Priestley on the world stage. And I'm sure he's going to put up a much better performance against the Yorkshireman than he did in his first round encounter. A bit difficult, I always think, when you're playing a game where you know it's only best of 9 legs, first to 5, as it was when he took on Akihiro Nagakawa last night.
Yeah, there's no question that the Frog will play a lot better up there today. Like you say, it was a quick sprint last night. He started missing doubles and it got into his head, and the crowd lost a little bit of interest because the standard of the game went down. But certainly with Dennis up there, the crowd is always going to be on Dennis's side. I've never heard him boo him. And it'll be interesting to see how Warren conducts himself with the speed of Priestley's throw, because he may not have been playing against people that are this slow and deliberate.
Yes, and of course that's something that all players encounter over the years. When Dennis Priestley's on the hockey, you have to wait a little longer. Most players adjust to it pretty well, but as you say, Rob, Warren French will not have encountered this before in his career, probably. So, much longer game this for Warren French than the best of 9 legs qualifier.
100.
Finding the treble there, so not doing badly so far.
Well, it'd certainly give him a lot of confidence if he can take this first leg, John. I mean, you know, especially after last night, but what he'll have in his mind, if he gets to the double and starts missing, then that's going to affect him big time. But if he can take the double out clean and go 1-0 up against Dennis, then all of a sudden you could see a completely different player on that stage.
45 years of age, Dennis Priestley's junior by some little way, which makes you realise how well Dennis Priestley looks for his age, frankly. Looked after himself pretty well, hasn't he? A likeable man from Maxborough. 58, and looking here at 136, 2 treble 20s and double 8. So we know that Warren French will be coming up now to take this opening leg by a double 60. Now then.
Well, it took him something like, he had 17 darts, I believe, at the double in the first leg last night and lost, but he's only had to have 2, and he gets the first leg under his belt.